yoga was never meant for a mat. Yoga was only ever meant for a battlefield. There is a book called the Bhagavad Gita. And in that book, we meet our hero, Prince Arjuna. And he is about to go into battle with some of his family members. And he's standing up in his chariot and he looks across this battlefield. And he sees cousins he grew up with and uncles he's eaten with. And he just basically says, nope, not doing this. And he drops down in his chariot. And the soldiers in his army are all looking around going, what's going on? He just says no. Luckily enough for Prince Arjuna, Krishna turns out to be his charioteer. Now, do you reckon that Krishna said to him, Arjuna, get off your ass. Let's grab your mat. Let's go off to Bali. A retreat will do you the power of good. Or maybe he said, I think that you may have a blocked Manipura chakra. Let's do a bit of chakra work. Do you think he said, well, yoga is all about being calm and ahimsa. So let's just do a bit of breath work and we'll walk away, all will be good. Or do you think he said, stand up, pull yourself together, fight? Now here's the thing. And I know I'm being a bit tongue-in-cheek. And before anyone starts having a go at me, I've been teaching yoga for 22 years. I've taught the chakras. I've been on a mat and in a studio. But I've also been teaching philosophy for a long time. And whether we like it or not, the yoga landscape is very, very different now. It's mostly performative and it's beautiful. Please don't have a go at me. It is. I love seeing, like anyone, a gorgeous, young, slim, usually female yoga practitioner on a beach and with gorgeous music. It's beautiful. It's like watching a lovely film. It's the same vibe. So please carry on doing that if that's your thing. I'm trying to explain that that's not what it was originally for. Yoga was meant to meet us on our battlefield when times were at their worst, not their best. That's what yoga does best. So Krishna doesn't say, let's just sort it out and have a little chat, and he says, get up. He talks about philosophies such as karma, which is to act or not to act, or dharma, which means duty. Let me talk a little bit about duty for a sec. My brother died a couple of years ago. I remember the morning of his funeral, I woke up. I'd still not written his obituary. I'd organised most of the funeral, even though it was something that I didn't want to do, because I knew him well. He died very suddenly, not nicely. And there was a lot going on in my life at the time. And I remember waking up that morning, just feeling weight, just feeling heavy and feeling overwhelmed and thinking, I'm not doing it. There were family members I did not want to face. I did not want to be saying goodbye to my brother that day. I did not want that to be the last time. And I didn't want to wake up. I didn't want to get up. I just remember the weight. I remember thinking, well, what would be the worst that could happen if I didn't go? Someone else would stand up and talk about him. And I was reminded of Arjuna. I was reminded of Krishna. And I was reminded of Dharma. You see, here's the thing about Dharma. It's not realizing that you were meant to be a yoga teacher all along and you find yourself on a beautiful beach in Bali. It doesn't mean that. Dharma means the duty of doing something, even though every fibre of your being doesn't want to do it, because it's the right thing to do. And I realised when I was having this little discussion with myself in bed, this is not about me. This is about him. When I think of the Bhagavad Gita, I don't really want to go into all of the philosophies in this video, but when I think about it on that day, I remember thinking it's my duty. Every fibre in my being was saying, no, this is going to be a horrible day for you. It's going to be painful. It's going to be awful and awkward and horrible. It's going to be confronting. And every single time I said that, that was all me. And none of that was about him. I realised that I had no choice because it wasn't about me. And that's what duty is. It's having to do things that feel so incredibly difficult and overwhelming and that you want to run away from, but you can't. Because it isn't about you, it's about them or it. I remember the same things, not when my mum brought me up. My nan brought me up, so. And I remember having the same conversations with myself. A lot of the time I think of the Bhagavad Gita as an internal dialogue, Krishna and Arjuna. You know, me saying, I don't want to get up, and then the other side of me saying, but you've got to get up, and this is the reason why. And when I started studying the philosophy of yoga 20 years ago, over 20 years ago now, my mum was going through, my mum she was my nan, she brought us up, but we call her mum, she was our nan. So she was a lot older than what would be classed as, I suppose, a generational normal mum. And she was a very exacting woman. She decided at the age of 80 that even though her legs worked, she decided she no longer wanted to walk anywhere. Everything was via wheelchair. I had 2 little children and she was a pain in my ass. And there were days that I would have to take her to hospital or I would be taking her out somewhere, and I think I didn't even live close to her, and I think I can't do this today, I'm so busy. And I knew that she'd made a choice to bring me up when she'd already brought up her other children. They were all grown. She was in her 50s and she took on a tiny baby. Well, 2 of us actually, they were twins. And I thought, I may not want to do this today. And sometimes she's I think when you get to a certain age, you just say stuff. She had no filter whatsoever, honestly. And I think, well, again, this isn't about me. It's my duty. She did it for me. Dharma is simply that. It is when every fibre in your body is telling you to stay in bed or to run in the opposite direction. It's to say, I know that this is going to be horrifically tough for me and make my life difficult for a little while, but that's my duty. That's what Dharma is. That's what Krishna was trying to explain to Arjuna. What if you don't do it? What happens? Yoga wasn't meant for the mat. It was meant to meet us in grief, in times of difficult choices. At 3 a.m, when our mind won't shut off, and in the middle of an argument when your chest tightens and you lose your breath. Yoga on a mat is rightly called a yoga practice, like a rehearsal. Yoga off the mat is real yoga. Traffic jams and arguments and washing machine breaking down and funerals to arrange. And if it doesn't meet you there, then it doesn't quite land, does it?